And not just as they should, they will run according to standards. They will run according to standards. So even if I'm not in my factory, I know that the waste will be disposed as they should through the appropriate channel at the appropriate time. If I'm not in a factory and a supplier brings the raw material, they've had cause to reject raw materials several times. The supplier already has our SOP, because even for something like beans, there's a color, there's species, there's dry, the moisture content for the bean, there's the type of impediment that should not be there. So if you come with a bean, when you have a SOP and you still come with something that is not according to our standard, when it gets to the receiving port, it will be rejected. So for a business, you need that. It is critical that you have it. So don't look at it as stress that NAFDAC is putting you through. Just look at it as a learning opportunity. And for me, I didn't even know what was required. So when I go to NAFDAC, I will say, please, Joe, just put me through. What do I need to do? Instead of turning me back 10 times, just show me what I need to do. Show me a sample. And NAFDAC guys are not evil. They are not the bad guys. You can speak with them. You can ask questions. You can ask them to teach you. And that's one thing that I keep talking about whenever we go to NAFDAC meetings, that it should not be a police and thief relationship. If you empower small businesses, if you empower micro businesses, just with education, you see that we do better. Because a lot of us didn't have background in food, we don't have background in technology, food technology or nutrition science and all that. We are only doing the best we can with Google, and we're learning from other people. So just take it as a learning point and just go through all these processes. The next documents that you required of you also would be tests, food and last test, and even your products will be required to test it. Now, I will also mention the differences between a micro business and a small business when it comes to test. Excuse me. So for your test, for a micro business, you'll be required to test your finished product. For a small business, instead, you're required to test your raw materials and your finished product. So even though I'm on record here, please permit me to say that there's no hard and fast rule. So there are some of these things that you can do away with. There are some of these things that you can, what's the word now? Not do, so to speak. So I'll give you an example. For a business like mine, Baby Box, we have so many products, so many inputs. So if I have a product that has maybe an input of, say, 6 inputs, it means that I will have to test. If I'm doing my raw material test, I have to test my raw rice, test my raw maize, I have to test my raw groundnut, I have to test my raw potato, and they all will go into one product, and I'll still test the finished product. Now, for each test, standard test, the least that you can get it is 30,000 naira. So if I test the 6 inputs at 30,000 naira, and I still test the finished product 30,000 naira. So 6 times 30, 6 times 30, 6 times 3 is 18. That is 180K. Plus the 30 of the finished products, that is 210K on one product, on test alone, test of foods alone. So what I did was I went to them and I argued my case. And you can do that, which is why you need to be really, really informed about what you're doing. So when I went to them, I told them, see, it doesn't make sense for me to test. I've done sensory tests. I don't need to do lab tests on rice. Sensory test on this rice shows that the sensory test is what you can see when you touch it, you know. So I don't see any reason why I need to test my finished product again, my raw materials, and then still test finished product. So I argued my case and said, I'm only testing my finished product. And after like 2 or 3 days, we were on it, they agreed. And I only tested my finished product and we passed the test. So you need to, like I said, there are people you can engage and speak with. There's no, you must do this or not do that. So you do your test. For micro businesses, good news is you are not mandated to do your raw material test. But for small businesses, we have to do our test, our raw material test. So also you have to do your food handlers test. Typically, you can walk into any registered laboratory to do your food handlers test. Once you get there and say you want to do a food handlers test, they know the required tests that you need to do. And you have to do your test again I think NAFDAC says every 6 months. For us, we do it every 3 months. To be sure that our food handlers are still very, very okay to work with food. So your food handler tests are usually your typhoid, sputum, salmonella, all those things. They know what it is. I won't bore you with that. The next thing that you need to get ready will be your fumigation test, fumigation report, and your labels. Now, the way to save money on your test and fumigations would be to go through the local health inspectors. I can't remember exactly what they are called now. If I remember later, I'll let you know. But every local government has a health desk. So you go to your local government, go to the health desk, and then ask them that you want to do fumigation. They are way cheaper than any other private company, and they are very effective too. The first time when they fumigated, I didn't like what they did, but I told them specifically what I wanted them to do, and we got a very good relationship going forward. So, and they are way cheaper than any other government thing that you want to talk about. And their certificates are more recognized than for a private establishment. So go through your local government. They will also give you their own certificate. You need to have that. NAFDAC does not require you to have that, but you need to have that because they can come and close down your store. They can come and close down your factory if you don't have the local government health. I can't remember what it's called now. There's this certificate that they give you that's fine to operate a food business. It's a license. They are licensed to operate a food business in the community. So you also need to do that. And then when you have all your tests done, you also need to submit your labels. So this one is also tricky. You have to go through NAFDAC website to see what you are allowed to claim on your labels. If you are saying, oh, my meat pie is a wonderful meat pie. If you eat it, you'll not be hungry for 1 day. You need to give them substance to validate that claim is really true. So they also regulate advertisements, and that is why you have to submit your labels to NAFDAC. So you need to be careful what you're claiming. If you're saying nutritious, what do you mean by nutritious? Well, what can you? Oh, yeah, stand by your nutritious claim. What makes you say that this meat pie is more nutritious than the one that is sold, in say a cotton market? So you need to be careful when you're doing your labels, and you don't need to go with your final label. Just go with a mock-up and you'll be fine. So, and for small businesses, the documents are more detailed. For micro businesses, not so much. So that's it about documents. When all your documents are ready, you take them to NAFDAC, they vet them one after the other. For a micro business, you don't need to have experts in food. But for a small business, you must have an expert. So for us, we have IPAN certified quality control person. We have certified food technologist who is our production manager. You cannot have just anybody. You cannot have somebody that studied Yoruba handling your production. No, it's not possible. They must have certificates to back it up if you are a small business. For micro businesses, it will be overlooked. So this is why I said how you present your business to NAFDAC also really matters. So when you're done with your documentation, then you submit. Next slide. Shay, are you there? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Or am I talking to myself?
I can hear you.
Oh,
I
okay.
can hear you. Sorry, I unmuted
Am I
myself.
making sense? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right then. So let's go to the next slide.
Okay.
So after your documentation period is over, you write a letter to NAFDAC to tell them you're ready for them to inspect you. They will generate payments for you, and then you go to pay, change your teller to receipt. And there's this process that you register online too. I can't remember what it's called now, but you also there's a pre-registration that you do online on NAFDAC website. You might not be able to do it because it's a little technical. There are some agents around there that can do that for you for little fee. So when you do that, you also then you can book a date for your inspection. I always suggest that when you book a date for your inspection, you do a dry run. You can do a dry run with somebody that already has that has already experienced this in the past. So you can speak with anybody that has an NAFDAC number around you and tell them to come and do a dry run for you. They'll walk you through what to expect on that day and possibly likely things that might make them cancel, um, render your inspection invalid. So do a dry run before that day. And to be honest, like I've been saying this over and over again, NAFDAC people are not, it's not a police and thief relationship. They are just there to safeguard the health of the nation. So if they see that if you don't know anything or if you have questions around anything, speak with them, engage them, and they will put you through what to do. Because of course, only very little of us has background in nutrition of food and things like that. So engage them. So on that day, you do your before that day you do your dry run and then you prepare. So there's something I like to say. I don't know if it's good or bad, but yeah, let me just say it. I say it to people that are doing weddings too that there's nothing you do before your wedding that will make it the best wedding ever. And there's nothing you don't do before your wedding that will make it the worst. It's also the same thing with NAFTA. So if they're coming to do your inspection, do your best and leave the rest. Because there's something I heard and I believe it to be true. There is no way that they will come that they will not find a fault. If they want to find a fault, trust me, they will find it. They will find it because yes, it's their job. They will find something to say that you didn't do well. So just pray ahead of their visit. But cover the basics. Do the best that you can. Ensure your environment is clean, six pan, um, label your doors if they're supposed to be labeled. Ensure that your generator is working if your power is not working. If you don't trust NEPA, nobody trusts NEPA anyway. Ensure that your everything is spelled, packaged, and when they come, they would have told you what to expect anyway. They will be going with samples of your finished product. You will produce the product the way that you have written it in your SOP. All your meat pies, all your chin chin, your cereal, whatever it is that you want to sell, you will produce it for them to see that will be true from start to finish. You are the one that is producing this product. That's not to say that you can't do white labeling, and that's not to say that you can't use somebody's um, um, factory or space, workspace. You can use somebody's workspace too. That's another thing entirely. But if it is yours, ensure that all your staffs are trained, everything, your papers, everything is submitted, or you also need to have a copy because they'll go through it and vet that everything is correct, everything is accurate on that day that they come. And when they are there, when they come in, ensure that there's somebody that is with you that is taking notes. It is very, very important. So if they complain about X, Y, Z, that person is writing it down, noting it down, because you now have to ensure that you put those things in place um, against their next visit, or you put it in place so that it doesn't nobody comes again to stress you about that particular thing. So I remember for us when we one of the complaints that they made at our hand wash station was that after you wash your hands, how do you dry it? And I didn't realize, I just realized that we have towels, but then how do you clean the towel? There's no SOP for that. So we now had to remove the towels and then replace them with electric automatic hand dryers. Okay, so somebody was with me taking notes to ensure that okay, this one down is already there. That was one. It's another team can come and they will not even have issues with your towels. So depending on which team is coming, but then dot your I's and cross your T's ahead of time. And then you pray. Because like I said, there are different things that have visited us at different times. One person might complain about X, another person might say, oh, this X is, it's fantastic. So I remember one of my friends when they came, the only complaint that they had was that our cloakroom was for was not labeled male and female. That why should males and females change in the same changing room? There should be a changing room labeled male only. There should be changing room labeled female only. And that was why they cancelled our inspection. And that was it. They had to do it all over again. So another person might come and not be an issue. It might not be an issue for that person that you have a changing room for both sexes. So for us, thank God, we are 100%. Our production team is 100% female. So we have only cloakroom for female. We just have a cloakroom. So it depends. Just pray ahead of the day that whoever is coming would only see the beautiful part of you. Okay, so can you fail an inspection? Yes. Next slide, please. I'm not saying they don't have SOP for the inspection. They do. But then, do you know how many people that they inspect, you know, I don't know if you said it too, I don't know. But I'm sure they have an SOP. They have things that they look at. But like I said, there are some, people can pick faults. You can, in fact, some people can turn it to a witch hunt. Your inspection, it can be turned to a witch hunt. If there's everything, if they have an SOP and you pass everything in the SOP, I tell you, somebody can find something. I remember somebody that came, everything was correct. There was no problem. You know what that person said? We have a tree in the factory, and one of the branches of the tree was extending to the roof. And the person said that it means that rodents or lizards or something can climb from the tree over the branch and jump on the roof and then enter the factory. How will you see? So just like I said, just pray ahead of time that whoever is coming will be it won't turn to a witch hunt, sort of. That's just the point. So what happens when you fail? So there are two things. You might not fail outrightly. You can be issued what's the word they call this thing? There's this thing they call it something. I have my NAFDAC file just somewhere here. Let me quickly check what they call it because I've been issued like 2 or 3 in the past. Just a minute. Sorry. They call it compliance directive. So they can issue you a compliance directive that do this thing and then you pass. So a compliance directive, this particular compliance directive was that outside the factory, they found a hole. Apparently, so rodents will have dug that hole and they can continue to dig it and then go underground and enter into the factory. So they gave me a compliance directive to block that hole. And then, so when I blocked the hole, I took pictures as evidence, wrote a letter replying that compliance directive that we have done this that you asked us to do according to this compliance directive, and we submitted it within the time frame that they gave us. And when we submitted it, they passed us for that particular inspection. So you might not have you might not fail your inspection completely. You might be issued a compliance directive. In fact, if you notice that they want to cancel your inspection or they want to fail you, ask them to issue you a compliance directive. That it's just like saying, give me an opportunity to go and redo this mistake. Give me an opportunity to make it right. And then when you make it right, you submit the evidence that you made it right to them, and then it can pass the inspection. Otherwise, you have to go through the entire process that you have done of all your documentation, all your testing, all your everything. You have to start it all over again. But if you are issued a compliance directive, um, you will pass. You will be fine. So when you pass your inspection, that's just for stage one. You have passed inspection. That does not mean you have collected NAFDAC number. So when you pass inspection, that product that you produce that day, NAFDAC staff will go with it. And one thing you need to know is that you are responsible for transporting NAFDAC staff to your factory and you are responsible for taking them back. In fact, they will give you the type of vehicle that they will enter. So, and yes, this is according to law. So when they are through, they will go with the samples of the product that you produced that day, and they will take it back to them to their office. This time they take the product to their laboratory for test. Because you have done your own test, it's now time for NAFDAC to test and see that this product is also safe, like tested, you tested it okay by yourself. Let us also test it okay by ourselves to see that it's as good as you claim that it is. And so it goes into the lab. Typical period in the lab is 3 months. Okay, so it goes into the lab for 3 months. And so for NAFDAC, they sit every 2 weeks. There's a panel of people, like a judge and jury. That's how I picture it in my mind. That sits every 2 weeks on products that needs to be approved. So they bring a couple of products out, maybe like, I don't know, in my opinion, maybe hundreds, and then they look through the case files are presented before them, and they look through to say, okay, should we approve this product? Should we not approve this product? So they look at inspection notes and they look at reports from the lab. So that is what they use to arrive at their decision. So when they look through and they see that it has passed every test, inspection has been passed, lab has been passed, then they pass you and they give you the go ahead to get a number. But if you fail in the laboratory and it comes to that table, they will you'll be invited again to let you know that you didn't pass it because of XYZ. Go and redo XYZ and then submit and start the process all over again. Okay, sorry, Freda, that we have to go. I didn't plan that it to be this long, but I'm almost through anyway. And so if you pass, you get your number. If you don't pass, then you have to start the process all over again. But the good thing is they let you know why you didn't pass, and then you can do it again the proper way. Have I failed the lab test? Yes, I have. And I would like to say that it was a sabotage from one of my staff. But then we did it again, and then we got the numbers. So really, most people don't like doing this because they feel like it's stressful. But I advise you to do it because then you can fully learn all that you need to do, know it as a person. But when you're involved in the process, it's different from when you hire a consultant. When you hire a consultant, you just pay them and they just do everything. You just show up on the final day. That's also good. But if you do that, ensure that you read through all the documents that the consultant has prepared so that when NAFDAC staffs are asking you questions, your responses are not conflicting with the information that they have with them. So that's it. Honestly, will I use a consultant now? Yes, I can use a consultant now because I don't like stress. But I've been able to teach some members of my staff how to do it. So they are like internal consultants. They handle it. In fact, I can tell you for free that the last 5 products that we registered, I had no idea. From start to finish, I was not involved. I was not involved at all. She just called me and said, this is the day they are coming for inspection. And I showed up on that day, on the inspection day. So, and then maybe 2 or 3 months later, just called me to say that the numbers are out. I was very happy that my mentee has been able to do it successfully. So you can do it and then have somebody in your staff also empowered to do the same. And then for you, the advantages is that you're saving yourself a lot of money that the consultants would have collected from you. I can't say exactly how much we go. You know, like I said, you do your trademarks, and it's anywhere from 30,000 naira to 120,000, even more. You do your test, but if you know your product, the inputs, how many products are you registering, how many tests are you carrying out, your food handlers, how many are they, how much would it cost to test each person, depending on the laboratory that you use. So you can use a government hospital. I've never used a government hospital, so I don't know what it costs at government hospitals. It might be cheaper. Um, so I use a private hospital. So I can't really say exactly how much it would be. I think I can stop at this point in time because of time. If you have questions, you can go ahead to ask.
Thank you so much. That was a really enlightening session. So we already have some questions. I'll just start asking them so that we'll. So someone asked a question, but I'll paraphrase it. So pretty much what she's trying to ask is, where do you get the trademark done?
Okay, trademark is done at Abuja. I think they call them the corporate. Is it the Corporate Affairs Commission? I think so. But I've been there once, but trust me, that place is like you don't want to go and do it yourself. That's my own opinion. You can speak with any lawyer, any distant lawyer can help you get it done.
Okay, all right then. Okay, so someone said, does the business classification depend on the product type? No, you've clarified that.
Yes.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
when you're doing your trademark, the person registering the trademark will ask you the type of product what you want to trademark, not even product, because you can trademark names. If it's for a product, they will ask you what type of product it is, so to know the class to put you under.
Okay. So someone is asking that, can pap paste or paste pap fall under micro category since she has less than 10 employees?
Yes, anything. Yes, it can. And pap is even sold, things that are sold regularly, you know, they're not too, what's the word now? I mean, we all buy pap on the road. We see pap everywhere. So yes, definitely micro. You can come under micro.
Okay, so product testing, is it done by NAFDAC or private agents?
Both. You
Okay.
do your own test first, but the test has to be done at an IPAN certified lab. So we have a lab in baby groups, and it's IPAN certified. IPAN is the Institute of Public Analysis in Nigeria. So we have our own in-house lab, but you can use our lab if you want. You can use any lab. Just go to any IPAN certified lab. It has to be IPAN certified because when it comes to NAFDAC, they are strict on what's the word now? That what you're doing is genuine. So you don't want to just do it anywhere. There has to be an IPAN certified laboratory that does a test. When you submit, it will be part of the documents that you present to NAFDAC. And when they come to your factory after the inspection, after you have produced what you are producing for them, then they will take that sample and take it to their own laboratory to test again.
Okay, thanks for that. So
okay, so sorry, somebody quickly, I saw a question in that line, so I needed to quickly add it to it. You can go to Firo and do tests. I just remembered. You can test at Firo. You can do your test at Firo too. I'm sure it will be way cheaper. They can do nutritional analysis for you too in Firo.
Oh, okay, and Firo does nutritional analysis.
Yes, they just started it. There was a knowledge upgrade kind of thing for them last year by Gain. And so they are part of the people that can do this really sensitive test now. Can do it.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have a question from Risika, two questions actually. So she says the local health inspector at the local government, they're the ones that handle the food handlers tests?
No. The food handlers, they do their own test. They can 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 do their own test. No, You have to do your food handlers test at the, you can do it at the government hospital, a private hospital. But they will ask, they will request for it before they give you their own license. You know, I said they also give licenses. Their licenses are not, they are not presenting it in NAFDAC, but they will disrupt your business if you don't have their license.
Okay.
What they can do for you is fumigation, and that's for small businesses, not micro.
Okay. So she says, she's also asking, are you permitted to lease part of an existing factory for your own production and register your own products independent of your landlord's own?
Oh yes, yes. They call it what's the word now? You even some products you see that it is manufactured by one person and the address is another person. It's here contract manufacturing. You can do contract manufacturing and you can use somebody else's those people that are doing your contract manufacturing for you. That's also where you will do your NAFDAC inspection. So as I have a baby food company, and maybe you want to do your own baby food too, you can use my factory, but of course, it's not Baby Glove's name that is on the registration and everything, but it's just Baby Glove's factory. So when you are now submitting your documents, and when your final product is out, what you now see is Sheyi baby food manufactured by Baby Gloves, but it's yours. So yes, you're allowed to do that.
Okay. All right. So Rachel is asking that, can you give us an estimate of what goes into registration of micro businesses? Just an estimate total.
I can't say. So it's not fixed, like I said. So basically what you'll be paying for would be your registration is 10,000 naira. That aside, if it's just one person, you're allowed to be the only person working in your organization. Anyway, so if it's just you, your own test, I don't know how much a food and last test costs. It can be anywhere from 10K to 50K, depending on where you go to do the test. So your own test is covered. Your trademark is about, I said, 30,000 to 120,000. That's true. Your labels, cost of doing your mock labels, cost of putting your factory in place, the equipment. So it's not actually fixed. You can have a budget. You can budget. So I would say you can budget anywhere from 150 to 200,000, and then start doing what you can ahead of time. I'm talking. Oh, hey, sorry, Muji, you can't hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. So it's not fixed anyway.
Okay, so I have a question from Moji. She says, does your lab do nutritional analysis?
Okay, so there are different types of analysis. There are really, really so many types of analysis.
No, I mean, she's asking.
When you say nutritional, yes, we do. We do. Okay. We can do the analysis that you present in NAFDAC.
Okay.
Yes. But okay, I'm not asking you to come to me. I'm just saying you can do it to yours.
No, okay, so so my own question in line with this is, okay, so if I have maybe like a cookie now,
yes,
and I say I want to know the nutritional component, because it's something I've always wondered. You know, you see a lot of claims online, and I say I want to know the nutritional component of this cookie. Can I come to the lab to do this?
You go to Firo to do that. And I can tell you like 2 or 3, I have the information on my desk. So that would be, you want to know the micronutrients that are in there. You can do that at Firo, you can do that at SOM, you can do it at NAFDAC too. You can do it at Battle Chemicals. So these are accredited facilities. There's just how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in Nigeria. 3 private, 3 public. That you are sure that what they are giving you is correct. So this was, let me advertise Sun a little bit. So what Sun has done is a lot of these tests, all these companies, they just do nothing for it. It's not valid. So what they did was to have standard organizations in US and some other European countries that are known worldwide to do confirmed quality tests. And then they did random sampling of companies in Nigeria that are doing tests too. And all of them didn't even meet the mark. So what they now did was to upgrade the facilities of these public and private sectors, upgrade their equipment, upgrade their knowledge, you know, then train them to be able to do exactly what these foreign people are doing. And at the end, these 6 people passed, and you are sure that any test that these 6 people do, it compares with any other thing that you get from any other place in the world. Okay, so the 6 of them are NAFDAC, SON, PIRO, those are the public ones. And then for the private ones, you have Battle Chemical Laboratories. I can give you all their details later. Alpha Chemicom Lab, and IITA. IITA too can do that for you. IITA is in Ibadan.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think we have just 2 more questions.
Oh dear.
So there's someone saying, how long will the entire process take?
It can take anywhere from, so there's something they call fast tracking, especially for people that are exporting their products. So they can fast track your number for you. In fact, you get your number first before the entire process. For the normal process is you get your number at the end of the day. But for fast track, you get your number first before. But you are not going to use that number to go and start selling. So they give you that number because of people that ship outside of the country and you know, it takes a while on the IC. So they give you a number pending when it gets to where it's going to. But typically it takes anywhere from 3 months to 6 months.
Okay, 3 months to 6 months. Okay.
It can't be earlier than 6 months. Because even the laboratory takes 3 months.
Okay. All right. I think that's actually about all. All the other questions have been answered. Do we have any more questions? Even though we have to run, we've run out of time. But I think if you have any questions, please send it to info@payworld.org. We'll get it across to Sheung, and I'm sure she'll be happy to provide answers to those questions. Sheung, please don't forget the templates that you said you'll send to us. Templates for this SOP.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes, and I think you mentioned some other documents.
Yes, I already did them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sheung. Thank you. Despite the fact that you're not feeling too well, you still made it. This is something we've been looking forward to for a long while, and I'm sure it has been a beneficial session for all those who attended. Even for me, I mean, I've had a food business I've not thought of doing because I just thought I don't have power for NAFDAC's wahala. But I mean, this session makes it look easier than I thought. So thank you so much, Sheung. I really appreciate, and thank you for your time. Thank you all to those who attended. God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right then.
Thank you so much. God bless you. I really appreciate it.
So ladies, that's the end. The video on YouTube, on our YouTube page. It's up already because we're doing a live stream, but we'll edit it and put up the proper video by tomorrow. Do enjoy the rest of your evening, please, and God bless.